So what should we be looking for in this one?
This one's like fruitcake, liquid powdered sugar.
Fruitcake.
It's so good.
You know, every time someone says sweet related to hard alcohol, they're lying.
No, this means they're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just go ahead and start. Welcome to This Round's on Me. This is episode 2. I'm here with Oliver, my co-host, and got 3 of our local buddies here: Miles, Shin, and Alan. Unlike Oliver, they all won RTNs this season.
Oh, come on.
Oliver got second.
Perpetually second, Oliver. So we thought we'd interview some better players and ask some questions and drink some whiskey.
Oh man.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah, we need to get some whiskey down for those burns. Man.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Start off hot already.
All right, what is this first one?
All right. So first question. This is for.
Or no, what's this first whiskey?
Oh, first whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh.
We drink first.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is Maker's Mark. This is a specific single barrel. So because our panel here is all top finishers, I decided to get whiskeys that are finished. So this one in particular.
Can you explain what finished means?
Yeah, so after their usual like minimum 2 or 4 years in a oak barrel, they are taken out and then they're put into another barrel, or the barrel there's something added to the barrel. So this one in particular has oak staves from other barrels put into it and aged a little longer.
Kind of weird to be honest.
So what flavor should that be?
This is very classic
This looks like
bourbon,
more than all.
but for Maker's Mark in particular, very
Let's get some less drinks.
very cocoa nip.
One less.
One less drink.
One
It's like
more.
double the amount.
All right.
Oh, one more?
One more.
Carlos. For the Carlos.
Yeah, sorry, we have a cameraman in the back, Carlos.
We
Hi,
have,
Carlos.
we have a backstage crew.
Yes.
He was waiting. Hi.
Editor channel.
Yeah. All right.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And to be fair, Oliver won last year's RTN,
Yes.
which had way better pricing.
That's fine.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Cold Foil Icelander is pretty nice.
Oh, yeah, especially the one I got that had just a chunk out of the top.
Yeah. I saw that pricing like, you could have it, you know?
Oh, that's right. It was the finals between you and Shin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for reference, Miles won Alan Phi with the
Stubbies man.
right the day before the Stubbies ban, or the day of the Stubbies ban, I think. Wasn't it?
Oh, it was
the
Sunday
week
and it was
before.
like banned on Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. So the
The Lord, it was my fault. That's guys.
Yeah. He tore through the competition with Stubbies. Shin, meanwhile, is our Dory one trick.
Tore through 3-2.
The king of Dory. Yeah. Win for
One
3
trick.
rounds.
Yes.
Round 4, lose to Shin. Round 5, lose to Brian.
Beat them both in
Beat
top
them
eight.
top 8.
Yes.
Vengeance.
Yes.
And Shin's our Dory one trick. He's been playing Dory forever,
Yeah.
I
basically.
wouldn't say one trick. Specialist.
It's true. Dory specialist.
Same.
Are you coming to the draft? Can I play Dorinthea?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Alan,
What did you draft?
Yeah, he had an insane Icelander pool and beat me in the mirror.
that's right. You were. This was a.
Yeah, you judged it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I judged all of them. Yeah. So how even the.
True.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
blend together.
just based on his deck, I probably could not beat him like 9 out of 10 times.
Unless you went first, maybe.
No, I think your deck was just so much stronger. You had 3 Oasis Respites. I had
did.
1.
Oh, okay. That was pretty good. Then.
I vividly remember this because I was trying to like the entire drive home. I was just like silent. She thought I was mad, but I was just silent because I was thinking about that game the whole time. Just like, was there
Replaying
something
it,
I could have done?
Yeah, replaying
but
it.
I just like thinking about your deck. Like it is so
True
strong.
player.
Just way too strong.
Mm-hmm. This is
It's very classic bourbon.
This is strong.
Yeah. What's the percent on this?
54.
I feel like
This
I
is
feel
not
a little spice.
This is not going by ABV, by the way.
Okay.
But we are ending on the highest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is 60.
It feels spicy. I don't know.
They all say spicy.
It's whiskey.
That classic
I'm used to it, so
bourbon.
it's very tasty.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's also spicy. All right, what's your first question?
Little kick.
So this one is from Yijin. So most of you players have experience with other competitive games, especially card games. Is there anything LSS could learn from them or take from them?
So I asked this question because I know Miles and Alan. Alan, you write for TFT.
I do. Well, yes, I still do.
And Miles has experience with a bunch of other card games.
Yeah.
Shin, I vaguely remember you saying that you also have experience with some other card games.
With some card games, but mostly Flesh and Blood is my first card game I ever played competitively. So
But you play other competitive games.
Yeah.
Like, you just beat up Carlos in Smash, right? So,
yeah,
It's 2500 in Dota too.
Oh, yeah.
It's immortal.
Yeah.
Shin's immortal. Also,
you're
also,
yeah, he's
also
the
a
immortal.
specialist. I only play like 2 heroes in Dota, so
That's how you do
we
it.
we
First
need
shaker.
that take though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You're
life
the
of a
rock.
one
You're the
shot.
rock of the team.
yeah. So I would rely on you guys for this question mostly, probably.
So I guess so for me, I guess I'll start off since I asked this question. One of the things I hope LSS can do is be more transparent in the design process of a lot of their their sets and stuff. So like Magic does that a lot, where they Mark Rosewater, but also some other designers will have articles like every week essentially dedicated to like how they design stuff and like how they approach design. And it's pretty good for transparency in a lot of like the design process and understanding where Wizards is coming from with a lot of their design thoughts. I feel like LSS could definitely use a lot of that. What do you guys think? Competitive scene, whatever you guys.
Yeah, I think so. Like, sometimes they write articles saying like they're gonna ban something, just like the Stubbies one. They're like, oh yeah, we intended it was gonna be banned in Blitz because we know that it's a lot of a health pool that's 6 damage. But they're like, maybe it's not bad in CC, but turns out it's still very strong. So they explained it, but I think for some people, if they like talked about it more, maybe like on those recaps, saying like, hey, we see a lot of 5s playing this build and it's pretty strong and overpowering, and they are kind of looking into it, and maybe people wouldn't have been surprised when the sudden ban came.
Yeah, because it feels like on LSS's side, they're just like, oh, is Stubbies performing? Yep, that's what we expected. Let's ban it. But for a lot of people, they didn't realize that Stubbies was on LSS's radar unless they read more into their reasoning for Blitz.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of people were like, well, if it's bad for Blitz, they maybe think it's okay for Constructed, and that they'll let it slide for Constructed. But apparently they didn't.
Yeah. Same thing happened with like Duskblade, right? Where they banned it in CC and let it be in Blitz for a little bit, and then even though I think there was like a Blitz season, they were like, yeah, okay, it's already too much. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, it was that skirmish
But-
season.
I think even if Duskblade was legal in Blitz, it wouldn't be that big of a problem.
I mean, for like 1 week I played it when I was still doing like online armories, and it was like an absolute menace. Yeah.
Okay, but like recently, like imagine
Yeah.
like, these past callings where like the games end in, or like when Viscerai was legal, games end in like 1 or 2 turns. Like what's Duskblade gonna do?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Nowadays,
But then in the older meta, it would have been interesting to see how
Kind of
Duskblade
building
would
it
beat
up
the
again.
fatigue of them at those callings. Also.
I mean, it would have been straight up beat the
Yeah,
top.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think like when they announced kind of pre-banning of Stubbies for Blitz, they aren't, if they're not banning it in CC, they're not going to be like, here's all the reasons why it could be bad in CC too, because then it like biases people to start planning for it and building around it. I mean, I guess it's a signal that they ban it in Blitz, but I thought the reasoning, I was very salty when they announced the ban, but because we were like in and out, and Ichin's like, hey Miles, look, they banned Stubbies, and I was like, ha 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 ha. He's like, no, actually, and I was like, oh. But I mean, the reasoning's really sound. Like I think just seeing like how I was playing in the finals and stuff, where it was just insane like amounts of damage to claw back, where it was pretty soundly in the other person's hands, and then I'm just like, oh, 35 damage, sorry.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's
definitely not
not-
it's definitely not the most healthy. So I've come to respect and be okay with the Stubbies ban.
Yeah.
I'm in the acceptance stage of.
Of the grief.
Well, yeah. What do you think LSS can
can
learn?
learn. So the only other physical card game I played was Yu-Gi-Oh! And the one thing I liked about it was that, at least when I played back then, like I don't know, 10 years ago, even though I couldn't afford those cards because I was a kid, but they always had like this, you knew staple cards were going to get reprinted, and you knew the value was going to tank, but even then people would still buy the staples because they needed them for competitive play. And you could say like as a company that's greedy, like you release a powerful staple and then everyone needs to buy boxes or buy copies, and then eventually they're just going to reprint it for the masses. But it's also like, at this point, I don't really care if they like reprinted CNC in like some random like $20, $30, $40 product.
Yep.
And so like the masses could have access to it, because it's like last meta CNC wasn't really needed because everyone was on Starvo and Crown of Seeds, but like this meta, people are finally seeing again why CNC is such a good card when not half of your games you're playing against Crown of Seeds. But I just feel like the idea that like these like very competitive staple cards like trying to keep the collectability aspect of it. Like I don't care. I would rather have everyone just have access to the cards, and they like tried to do that with History Pack, but I don't think History Pack was a very good product in my opinion. Like I don't CNC is still like what like an $80 card on TCG Player.
Yeah. I was mostly disappointed in like the Dory versus Rhinar like decks. I really thought that they were going to reprint something, you know.
Yeah, I
Like,
totally
nice in that,
expected
but-
CNC for Reinar.
But they instead gatekeeped another card, Glint the Quicksilver, right? Or not Glint the Quicksilver.
Glistening.
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 Yeah.
Steel
Yeah.
blade.
But they reprinted Alpha Rampage.
Yeah, but
Fantastic.
Like, if,
Not even
if
extended art.
CNC was in the Rhinar deck and Glistening was in the Dory deck, Glistening would be like a $10 card,
Yes.
and then CNC would be like a $40 card.
Yeah,
maybe,
which
right?
is fantastic.
Which is
It's
fine.
like-
Yeah,
it's
I
still
don't
a
see
good
I don't
value,
see an
right?
issue with that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think like the issue is just like they kind of just do random decisions based on what's not random, but like there's intent and reasoning behind their decisions that I can get behind. Like why would they release a history pack? Oh, they also want to do like European localization and things like that. There's a lot of reasoning for it, but there's no consistency to it. So as a player, I have no idea what to expect. Like, should I buy these staples now? Should I buy them later? There's like some things, like for example, right now is probably a good time to buy because RTN season's over.
Yep.
Prices are going down. But like other than that, it's like players are kind of just like in a weird state, not knowing
Guessing,
what they should
yeah.
do. Yeah.
Well, CNC notwithstanding, I'll just play devil's advocate here. E-Strike prices have gone down, right? It's like
Yes.
$20 now.
Mhm.
So, I'm not saying that History Pack was the sole reason behind it, but like,
Yeah.
it seems like it was able to lower the price for everything but Art of War and CNC.
And Tunic.
Also, too.
And I think that's just a meta thing. Like E-Strike is not super meta as it was like in the
Yeah,
past, where it was
true.
just like
Yeah.
super value in every single deck basically because there's just not that big of a card pool. But also it's like so like if a year ago they reprinted CNC and then it tanked to like a $20 card, like what's the difference from just it phases out of the meta and is now a $20 card, you know?
Yeah, I think otherwise, like, the OP system's been killer. I think they give good reasoning when they ban things. I know people are up in arms about Stubbies kind of being out of nowhere, but I mean, it's like the end of the season. I think it's like a reasonable time other than like waiting for the PT to be over and then doing it before Nationals. I don't think that'd be great either,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think they're doing
I'm
pretty
glad
well.
they gave it some time before the PT.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the biggest issues, especially on the consistency front, is that every time there's a negative reaction to something they did prior, they try to correct that, and then that's what makes them look a little, erratic. Yeah, where it's like, okay, people didn't like the seeds ban because they're just out of nowhere and just like super knee jerk, so we'll do stuff ahead of time. Okay, well, Autumn Touch didn't do enough, so we'll do some other stuff, so on and so forth. Where,
It was like before, I think last year was Starvo. Was it Starvo? Like people were like, oh, it's so close to, was it Nats or something?
Pro
Are
Tour.
they? Was it Pro
Yeah,
Tour?
it's Pro Tour.
Yeah, people were like really questioning, like, are they going to restrict him or remove him? Like they didn't know.
And it was like what 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks
beforehand,
beforehand.
They did
Yeah.
the Awakening and Autumn's Touch.
So
Yeah.
I think it's fine that they touched it now,
Yeah.
because it would be really bad if it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before Nats here, or even Singapore. So.
You
Oliver,
got anything,
any-
Oliver?
No.
You play so many
I
board
just-
games, card games.
I just played the game.
I'm like, I'm
This was
not talking
hard.
about just like
You
card
love
games, right? I'm talking
everything.
about like
You wouldn't
games
change
in
a
general.
single thing. Not even Viscera.
That's how they designed it. That's how it's working.
And you think it's perfectly fine.
One thing I would like is I think I mentioned this to others too. Since I am a Dory specialist, I would love to see like what my win rate is with that hero against like all the other people I play and like those events I submit my deck list to. So then I can be like, oh, my percentage to win rate for this hero is this much against this type of hero and
Yeah.
such.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet.
Everyone seems to be hopping on Flesh and Blood online. So
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing a lot more content.
And
on
they've
that.
been posting the stats pretty regularly. I've been taking those with a grain of salt because a lot of it is just because it's just people testing, and it's also new players who aren't as familiar. So level of skill, I don't think is consistent enough to make any actual inferences from. But it's interesting to see. I hope that it continues to grow. LSS doesn't. There's a good chance that LSS might shut it down too because it's approaching
Cease
the
and
point.
desist.
Yes.
It's approaching the point where
It's basically becoming an online client.
Yeah.
it's basically coming out on my client. Like
Might
it's,
get too big. Yeah.
yeah.
And Flesh and Blood is about playing in person. So if they just have like the stats at least available online on the website, just show like what your record is, I think I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. And I'll just say full disclaimer, LSS doesn't really hide stats. Like all the stats that they have, they give to me, or they gave to me when they were doing the announcing the articles. So everything that you see on the articles is basically just like what they give us. So
Yeah.
they don't like hide stats, but at the same time, it's like for Flesh and Blood Online, I'm more worried about, well, in the future, what's going to happen if people start preferring that as a client, and then people might start hosting events on that, like personally organized events. So who knows?
I also just like the feel of TTS now. I'm too used to it. Like Flesh and Blood Online has it's like automated, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it has all the logic in there, but just like sometimes you just want to throw down your hand and be like, oh, what do you think I should do in testing?
Make
So
a pile of
that's
dice.
kinda nice. Yeah, make a pile of dice.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Should we move on to the second one?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So
Well, did you guys rinse your thing?
yeah, go ahead and grab some water. You're welcome to drink the water or just throw the water out. Personally, I like to drink it just to stay hydrated.
Good idea.
Whiskey water.
Whiskey water. Yeah.
All right. So what is this?
Spicy water.
So this is
Spicy
Michters Toasted Barrel Rye.
Right.
This is one of my favorites. This is very what is it called?
All right, hook it up with a little less first.
A little less? Everyone wanted more last time.
I wasn't there last time.
Yeah, because you went to a party.
You could have been featured. I did when I watched it back. I did like the Mike Wazowski, like, look, it's me. My hand came on the screen.
So this is not caramel, butterscotch is the one I was looking for. So this in particular, it's taken out of the barrel. The barrel is recharred again, and then the whiskey's put back in.
Charred?
Yeah, charred.
Like burnt.
Yes.
So it's supposed to be like a burnt taste, or
No, it gets a lot more sugars out of the wood.
Yeah, I do
Out of
smell.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
out of
wood.
the wood.
Out of the
into
wood, out of the barrel, yeah.
I do smell
Yeah.
wood flavor.
As you should.
Yeah.
I mean, these are aged for
Yeah,
years
that's the
in
point,
wood.
right? Yeah.
But to me, this one's very sweet.
Ooh, it is sweet.
yeah, it's not as spicy as the Maker's.
Agent, how you feeling about
Yeah,
it?
is it still spicy?
Alan.
Honestly, every whiskey makes me go like this.
All right, should we do a soju tasting next time then? You host.
Whoa, relax. What is it taste about soju?
Wow. All the different flavors.
Yeah.
Blackberry and blueberry
Yeah.
Yogurt.
and grape and yogurt.
And don't forget clean. Ooh, clean. Clean's like the original, and then there's like the blue
It's just
color
like getting a
where
little
it's just
buzz,
like
but I do feel like it's super warm.
it's basically like
I know, right?
Should I pour you less?
Maybe a little bit less. I think I'm
Okay.
good though.
All right, so
Mouth is hot.
Pro Tour Lil. Pro Tour Lil's coming up. What are you guys' predictions? What do you think the meta's gonna be? Name your top 3, top 5 heroes.
Why don't you go first, Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver.
Expert in the meta.
I'm not an expert in the meta.
Tell us your hot take.
You
for
don't
that.
watch my tier list?
Yeah.
It's alright.
Okay, number 1.
Briar.
Uh-huh.
Bravo.
I thought.
Bravo.
Really?
Oh, and Prism.
Copious.
Okay.
I forgot about Prism.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
I mean, those are the same heroes I've been saying every single time.
Mhm.
So, Roomblade, Prism, and a Guardian.
What happens if what happens after Potrilio when Prism allows?
Viserai, Briar, Bravo.
All of them.
No, I don't think all of them. Maybe Icelander.
Oh, Icelander.
And maybe Dorinthea.
Ooh.
Right? We already talked about this. Why is this surprising to you guys?
what do we think about Phi though? No, not for my sake. I'm kind of off Phi a little.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm back to my dash roots.
Don't want to
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
Don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
No, I think there will still be a lot of people playing Phi and
Yeah.
trying to make it work.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it just makes it so his like conversion rate is even worse than it used to be.
I think. Oh yeah, go ahead, Shin.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think Phi just had to, people had to adapt to his new playstyle now. It's more mid-rangey, I guess. And he had to probably play other cards that wasn't in the deck, like Liquefy and weird cards like that. Just go off like, I don't know, trying to get the mass triggers and do some weird damage that way. Which is very
Really?
weird, so.
I think
Really?
the struggle
That's
he
what I
has.
think.
Okay.
I think the struggle he has with going like less 100% aggro is that there's so many 2-block cards in the deck.
Yeah.
So many.
It's
Yeah.
even compared to like Briar and Viserai, which every once in a while have awkward blocks. It's like, 4-card hand, I can block for 8 maximum, and then I don't have a turn. And it's like,
This is old stuff. This is Ranger
Yeah.
all over again.
I feel like people are adapting Phi to be like more Kadachi now. Or at least trying it
yeah,
ever
just
since
play
the Stave
Katsu,
ban.
man.
Honestly, I think it's bad.
yeah.
Wait, did you make a deck tech?
And then I played it and I was like, this is bad.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, how's the hybrid going? He was like, oh, please no, thank you.
Because I played like 2 games against a Prism. I lost both. I went to like my old budget combo deck, and then I won. I'm like, okay, never hybrid again.
I think the main thing is that Fi is a very good entry point for the format. So we have a lot of new players that are just picking up because they want to, just start off with their competitive events and get a couple games in.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I think his conversion rate was so low is because we have a lot of players that are just like, oh, new team game. I played a pre-release. I got a couple of 5 cards. Let's go for it.
Just jam red cards. Yeah.
I think that Fi is better into Prism than the Rune Blades, but worse into Guardian.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Viscerai, I don't
For
know.
sure.
What do you think as a Prism player? Who would you be?
Would you rather play me or John Ho?
That's kind of
It's full stack.
I'd rather play you.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think the highest tier Viscerai is so much scarier than the highest tier Vi, because Vi is just gonna push damage and that's it. And Viscerai is like, oh, I'm gonna get a card.
Yeah.
Make a bunch of rune chants. Like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? Whoa! Like, there's so many options.
They have a lot of lines for sure now. They used to
Yeah.
just be a lot of damage, but they have so much lines they could do.
Fi's just so linear, right?
Yeah.
You know what their game plan is,
Yes.
right? There's not really any
3, 4.
Yeah.
divergence.
And
Yeah.
most of the time, they're not like Katsu where they're gonna like Razor Reflex or try to sneak in some damage with that scalars or whatever, right?
Very
Yeah.
straight.
It's just like if you have the armor or card, like they're gonna try to get a mask trigger here. I'm just gonna block 3. They can't go over it. It's like
Yeah.
okay, unless they're gonna save their Art of War for that mask trigger.
And they're way more prone to disruption. Viscerai just like, oh, okay, I just take it.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment of like what's gonna be at the top. Probably I see Viscerai.
A lot of people are talking about Dash being up there too, especially
Wombat
people
Dash.
Wombat Dash.
Dash?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, not just Pounder, some people are going towards hybrid with some pistols for the Guardian matchups, the Dory matchups with the D-Reacts, which I think goes back to like crew-like meta. If, there's a lot of Bravos, and Dash does pretty well into Prism too, right?
Very
So I think she is going to be probably up there,
Really?
I think.
In its current meta,
In this
I don't
current
think so.
meta, I don't know. If she sneaks in with some of the
I
good
mean,
matchups, then maybe.
Can she race all 3 aggro?
My issue
No.
is that
With double
I don't
Pounder,
think
maybe.
the version people play can.
I think she has the same position as like Lexi, where like you're trying to attack a specific set of heroes, right? And you're trying to build a deck for the specific set of heroes. So if you could predict the metagame, then yeah, I think those 2 would be a good choice. But otherwise,
Given the spread of heroes at the most recent Battle Hardened,
yeah,
which I think was Portland,
yes.
it's still looking very, very wide.
Yeah,
So
very wide.
You see, when this video will be uploaded, the calling Singapore will already happen, and the meta will already shift so much. Like, Prism's gonna win, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, Prism is so good.
also it's gonna be LL, right? So
Well, not for the Pro Tour, though.
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Prism. I feel like all Prism people already know Prism's good though,
Yes,
and people are already expecting Prism to do well.
but then the representation will be even higher.
Maybe.
So that'll shift. Like, if there's less Guardian, then all of a sudden it's like, gotta switch to like Runeblade or Aggro or Dash or what else is good against Prism?
There was quite a few Prisms though at Battle Hardened.
Portland.
Portland,
Yeah.
yeah.
3 in top 8.
Yeah.
Alright, hot take: a Fi is gonna win calling Singapore.
Oh, that
because
is
it's
not-
Asia.
No shit, Alan.
No, they love their Rune Blades over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was one RTN that was from Asia that was like 7 Rune Blades
that was
in
Hong
top
Kong.
8. Yeah, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So I expect something like that maybe not that polarizing, but because we still have like the New Zealanders and Australians that are coming in too, right? So
I'm thinking Briar's gonna win.
Bayern.
I have come around to Briar.
if
Not
Briar
bad.
wins and then she wins Worlds, she's out.
Really, that fast?
She's at 680 or something right now.
What's
Wow,
Viz
she's
at?
that high?
Viz is
He's like
Viz like 300.
right? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
really low.
I didn't know
Because
this.
Viz was bad for a while, right?
Yeah.
And then he's been overshadowed by
And then
Chen.
Yushin emailed Alice says, please make Viz good.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
the first
first
one.
one.
Yeah, no. My bad, guys.
Yeah, they sniped Skeletor before
Yes.
he got carried away.
Yeah.
It's true.
Which thank goodness, right?
Yes,
right,
it's so
Franche?
strong.
Oh,
I think Dory can make top 8 in France for sure.
but you're not going, Chan. It's not gonna.
There's other good Dory players, don't worry. I'm pretty sure they could rep Dory.
The other
she,
Shin?
she does. Oh yeah. There's a I think she does pretty well into everything except for Prism. So I think she has a chance for sure. And most people might not be used to blocking or being proficient at blocking against Dory yet.
True.
So.
Everybody's used to aggro meta, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Like, I'll just take the
yeah,
damage,
take damage.
and then like, oh, I have 6 counters on Dawnblade now. Like, okay.
Like, wait, you're attacking for 9?
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
resource?
or you go, okay, cool, I go CNC you.
Yeah.
Oh no. Flashbacks.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Oh, that was fast. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the meta's pretty much Moonblade, Prism, Bravo, sort of.
Fi.
Fi, sort of, also.
I think it's interesting because we really haven't seen anything. I mean, I guess Battle Hard in Portland was like the first one since Stars was
RTN.
banned, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was only like
And it was like
surprising.
Visceral.
There's
Yeah.
no Fi in top.
I wasn't in top
there
eight
was
at all. Yeah.
there was a dash.
There was a dash, a Viscerai, a Bravo, 3 Prisms.
Yeah.
I forgot the rest.
Was there Briar? I'm not sure.
There was a Dromai.
Oh, Dromai, yes.
There was a drama, yeah.
And
Yeah, what do you guys think of Dromai? Oliver? Dromai?
For what?
Can they make top 8 at least?
I think so. I think people are still trying to figure out how to play against Stromai, which is kind of hilarious.
And people should learn how to play Dromai too.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's the biggest wild card because like nobody can agree like how bad her bad matchups are, and nobody can agree like how good her good matchups are.
Yeah.
So like nobody actually has like a solid game plan against Dromai other than like what they intuit. Like was like okay, I just hit dragons and don't go to fatigue and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good big possibility where if you have one Dromai or something that has like really high skill level on Dromai, they can easily spike an event just because they like, just run circles around everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they,
game
they
plan.
know like the matchup very well. And,
Yeah.
like all the plays to go around certain matchups.
Exactly. Like that's why I feel like Dromai and Icelander are where they're just like, oh, I know your matchups, I know the matchup, and you don't, so I can at least I can eke out a win that way.
I think that's also why I was able to kind of well because I, practice all the matchups against Dory, so I know like the matchups much better than like the other player that doesn't play against Dory that much.
Yeah, we always play against you though.
Yeah, I know you guys.
Yeah,
do.
we have experience, but
yeah,
other people don't. Yeah.
they don't. So the person that has currently like the understanding of the matchup probably has a pretty good advantage right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always
That's
a good.
that's your edge, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what kind of whiskey is this?
So this one is High West. I think this is a bourbon. Nope, this is another rye. This is a rye, but this is finished in a barrel of rum for a whole year. So this one I think is my least favorite among the 5,
Okay.
primarily because it kind of takes on some of the
Rum notes.
some of the bad rum notes too. Unfortunately,
What a bad
Like
rumble.
molasses.
yeah, molasses. Yeah,
Mm.
some very strong like what's it called? Like yeasty flavors. Like
Wow, lovely.
yeah.
But that's like stouts.
What's that?
Stouts. That's like yeast, molasses, dark, and smoky. That's pretty much what stouts are.
I guess.
But France is like, I'm here for a whiskey,
Whiskey,
not
yeah.
Mhm.
No, I love stouts. I got into stouts before whiskeys.
Oh, cheers.
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 it's round one France.
You missed round 2 though.
Yeah, we did.
That's fine.
We were too excited to talk
yeah,
All
about
rounds only.
the meta.
I didn't even drink it. Shin's face makes me not want to drink it.
He just chugged the whole thing.
Yeah.
Look, he has none of his left. His glass left.
That's gonna give me a cough of whiskey.
You said you wanted less.
Exactly. So that's why I can gulp it. Single gulp.
Ooh.
But this one I feel like it's a lot smoother.
It's
Smoother?
very easy to drink,
Yeah.
but like
It's got a weird aftertaste, I think.
yes, I don't like the flavors that come from the rum.
It tastes like bubblegum medicine.
Medicine is a good one. Cough syrup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cough syrup. Yeah.
Cough syrup.
I guess that's what old medicine was made of, right?
This
You're
was
right.
our third one.
Yeah.
Here's our third one. Don't worry, these two are my favorite,
Okay.
Oh yes.
and this
That's
is like
the
a
last.
close one. But these two are fantastic. I love these.
So what is our spicy third question?
So, Blitz at Worlds.
Oh baby.
Of course.
Yeah, no.
Who has it? Who has it? Who
Uh,
has it?
Sit down, buddy.
You literally played in a Blitz Armory this week.
And
And I
He won.
hated every
He
moment.
won?
Why?
He
I
won.
needed to get that Storm's Hanakai.
Dang.
Yeah, and you need to win world.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing good
What
there.
do you play?
Icelander.
Icelander?
Yeah.
It's $100,000. Don't think there's anything.
There's nothing good
There's
there.
nothing there for me.
Nothing good.
There's no gold tunic.
Oh my goodness.
You can just
You can
buy
buy
a
it
gold
today.
tunic and have leftover.
Yes.
I'm sure whatever special prize you win for Worlds will trade for gold tunic, no problem.
If I get there.
Wait, what?
You know how like Pablo
If it lasts long
Couture
enough
got
to
like
actually break
the
lights.
the
Yeah,
chain,
exactly.
Yes.
like the PT chain. We were expecting some kind of card that comes from World Championship too, right?
Yeah, there should be.
I assume so.
I have to assume so.
I assume I assume is that they're gonna make a vanity card just like Magic does.
Oh,
Imagine
that'd be
Oliver
interesting.
and Prism in the same art.
Stop.
Oh.
It's just
so many.
No.
Skinny
jeans.
Here's what's gonna be. Oliver's gonna be the base
Purple jacket.
illusionist with this purple hoodie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it's the same
Oh
color.
my gosh,
Oh,
please.
good. So good.
Shadow illusionist.
Yeah.
The purple hoodie.
Yeah, because he hates Shadow, right? So make him the worst.
The light rune blade.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
see,
Oliver's the new Shadow Rune player.
but see, Oliver, like you hate Blitz because you don't really like it as much as CC, but you know you're a really good player, so you still won, right? That kind of shows like what Jay was saying, like you know, better player might probably gonna still win.
See, the main thing I think is that it's not just that the format's high variance. It's that it tolerates less mistakes,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
There's less chances too, like.
So like if you screw up, you're dead.
Yeah.
If you draw a couple bad hands, you're also dead. But ignoring that part.
Yeah.
But like, so it feels more fitting that these would be the last few rounds because if you don't perform well in the early rounds, then these are kind of your last chance sudden death things. So I can see it. I can see why he wants the format to be blitz, but also have it in the last few rounds.
Yeah. I think he mentioned this too he was talking about this on Twitter. I forget who started the initial conversation.
Probably
It might have
Zach
been like
Zach Bun.
Yeah, exactly.
was it Zach?
I'm pretty sure Zach Bun.
Or was it Kale?
Zach.
Oh, maybe it was Zach. Yeah.
Avid-
But yeah,
He was on
James,
the
James White literally said like your earlier rounds matter more,
Yes.
and that's why they put blitz in the last
Yeah.
round.
The downside, obviously, is that people will tune in more for the later rounds.
Yeah.
And
Who doesn't want to see Blitz?
Me.
But well,
you're not gonna see blitz anyway. You're not gonna watch.
Yeah, you'll be there.
You're gonna be there.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
be
be
there.
there. Or you're gonna be at the calling, grinding it out, and be like. Yeah. Or you're gonna be in your room, upset that you went 1-3 at the calling and 0-3 at Worlds.
Yeah,
That's all right.
in his room, he'll be here.
Yeah,
Drinking
in his
with
room.
us.
Right there.
Yeah, in his room.
That's when we farm side events. But let's see.
Hey, where's our Lexi post or our Lexi card?
So, I don't know if I should say this on thing. They haven't sent us our Lexi card yet, so I gotta ask.
Lexi.
Giant Lexi.
I got a giant Lexi card at
US
Worlds.
Nats.
Nats. At
Oh.
Nats.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even want to say this because it makes me feel like I'm ragging on CFP. But yeah, I asked CFP if they could take it back to California for us, and they said no problem. But our HQ is in Las Vegas, so we're gonna send it to Las Vegas first, and then we're gonna send it to the CFP Game Center, which is now Card Shop Game Center. And it just never happened because I assume they just never brought it in the recent trips. So yeah, it's probably still in CFP HQ. That's my guess.
gotta email them.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
They're organizing Worlds, right? So we just ask for it very nicely when they come here.
true.
Oh yeah. They'll probably have a Lexi post
Yeah.
one anyways.
In the
Just
back.
give it to you.
Sure.
Ours. Yeah.
Yeah, trade it in. Like here's my email saying that you're gonna give it to me.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's not a big deal for us. Oliver wants it because he wants some more giant cards, right? So.
I need
Fill
more
up the room.
decoration.
Yes.
Everything here is bad.
What? You have the
Oh,
Thor
You got a
poster
Thor
right
right
here.
there. Yeah.
Bad.
You have a
Art.
Above and beyond.
whatever,
Nice.
whatever it is. Yeah.
The third one's coming.
You have a Mandalorian poster right here. That's Baby Yoda. Like,
His name's Grogu. Come on.
It is Grover. Yeah. Miles knows. He's cultured.
it's like this is like soccer mom knowledge.
Yeah, for Worlds, I think I'm accepting a blitz. I'm not going to be whining because I'm not going to be there, so I don't. Doesn't affect me. But I think draft being the most represented in Swiss, where it's like, is it 3 rounds of draft, 5 CC, 3 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would swap CC and draft, so that your first 3 rounds, the most important 3 rounds, are classic instructed, and then you have 5 rounds of
6.
blitz. Which that doesn't work. Never mind, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
And then some
5
variation,
rounds
and
of
then-
draft. So you have the most.
Wait,
so you have the most
I
rounds.
thought it
of
was like 7 and 7,
CC.
not 8 total in each day.
It's 7 and 7, or it's 8 and 8.
It's 8 and 8.
8 and 8,
Yeah,
16?
16
Yeah,
rounds. Yeah.
16 rounds.
But I would make it so that CC is like most represented, especially that it starts first. So like, if you have a draft pod and then you have like Alan next to you
CC
cutting you
is the
like a bad
most
draft.
represented.
Yeah.
Because of top 8.
No, but I mean like it being the
To getting cut off.
yes.
Who cares about?
Yeah.
It's all about winning, right?
Fair.
But
I am the
still,
prize.
why don't they just do like 3 blitzes? minimum 5 or?
I think it's just they
It's
just
just
want to
the
have an
structure.
even number of rounds, and like
Yeah.
they want to have people like change up many decks per day.
Mm,
One of the other things I want to mention is that the number of players for Worlds is probably going to be like 200 or so.
So many rounds.
That's it.
Yeah, and so that means that you can probably go 11-5 and still get it.
16 rounds
Or-
of 200 people.
wow.
Yeah,
How many people are gonna go like O2 drop?
Me.
I don't think so because
Because of pop-up in tour, they'll be like, he did
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can too.
exactly right. I assume that people will play out the first day because there's nothing else to do the day anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you like just like lose your first 5 rounds, then obviously.
Then
you get it.
yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
But like, it's because nationals 12-4. We were 12-4, right?
It was 11-4.
I was 11. I was
11-4 at calling, right? And that was like what 400
Wait,
players?
what? The call?
PT calling.
PT Jersey.
PT Jersey at the calling, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Colin
second.
Jersey. Yeah. I think I'm
remember
pretty sure you were
anymore.
11-4 or 10-4
I don't remember anymore.
because it was 7 rounds first day. I think it was 7 rounds second day.
Yeah.
Was it?
I think yeah. I
Oh
think
my
you
God,
had
you're useless.
10-4.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I am
but
useless.
anyway,
I was thinking about
anyway,
that
like
I'm
for a 400 round tournament, 14 rounds, Oliver squeaked in at like X3 or something, X4.
X4.
Oh,
X4.
Oh,
X4.
man.
Okay, X4.
11-4.
So
11, 10-4.
For
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was
for an
4.
event, assumedly half that size with 2 more rounds,
That's fair.
you can definitely get in with a
Mm.
just losing all your blitz rounds, right?
Just have to win all the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just win. Right?
Yeah,
Just hit.
because
Just hit.
I think like a lot of people are used to like the PT level breakers or PT or nationals level breakers,
You just
but
need
it's gonna be a
like-
lot more forgiving for losses.
Primarily because there's more rounds.
Yes,
and less people.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think for most players, it's just, do you want Blitz in Worlds? No. Should LSS have Blitz at Worlds? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's just what it boils down to.
Probably. Yeah, I'm a proponent for Blitz at Worlds. I think it's an okay format, but I also think that it's important to have that sort of representation in the game. And to be honest, like if you have multiple formats for Worlds, I feel like it's a more interesting tournament than if it's just the same
Yeah.
format as before. Okay?
But then I feel like Blitz is not that much different from CC. Like, you know, skill wise, the things you test for is not really different. It's just faster and you can like make less mistakes, be it you draw bad cards or you just make one mistake or something.
Yeah, but I mean, the same thing could have been said. I know you don't have any Magic experience, but Magic Worlds had Standard, which was last 1.5 years of Magic, and Extended, which was last 3 to 5 years of Magic. And the formats for those were usually different, but not like different skill-wise, because you usually had tested the same skills. It was just a different format for people to watch, essentially, with different decks.
Yeah, I think the big difference for Blitz is like the field is so wide open because you just have to get to 20 life really quick,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they can do some very interesting matchups where it's like, oh, today we have KO against Young Chain because Chain's back. I don't know, something like that. And then the next round you have completely different heroes, so you have rapid fire a lot instead of just being like, oh, it's Viscera against Fire again, or Ice. Yeah.
And they could showcase multiple games within a 30-minute.
They're also very
Exactly,
fast, yeah, which is kind of nice. And you know, if Worlds is more like a showcase of Flesh and Blood for like not just Flesh and Blood players, but other people that are tuning in to watch, it might be interesting for them to see all these different heroes and how what they could do.
Yeah.
So I understand that for as a marketing perspective.
To be honest, I do think that the feature matches for the Classic Instructed section will be pretty varied. I think there's the field's wide enough that you can usually get some good matchups in the X1 bracket pretty often.
I mean, they've been pretty good about showing X1 and X2 bracket people.
Yeah.
Right? Just so that they have a more interesting matches.
Different matches.
You know, just especially like in comparison to like Jersey, where they didn't want to do like, you know, Starville mirrors all day, right?
Right.
They showed off the Kanos, they showed off Yuki on Lexi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like twice.
That's true.
Yeah, well, it was very interesting.
It was
It was.
because like people rooting for her, right? So
Yeah.
she became sort of like folk hero.
The people's hero.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
The
think
people's champion.
in terms of like star power, she probably got more star power than Pablo Pintor did.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Same with Alex too, right? Like
Yeah,
Kano.
Alex Moore.
Right?
Yeah,
Everyone's like, oh yes, Kano, you know, getting super excited.
which means that it's not necessarily if you're trying to build a brand, quote unquote, right? It's important to feature the people who are specialists at certain heroes, just so that no. Yeah, Shin.
Yeah.
It's important to feature people who are specialists at heroes, so you have consistent faces to root for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing I want to mention about Blitz is that I feel like a lot of players, including Oliver, kind of checked out of Blitz around the Monarch era, and because it's been relegated as a skirmish only format for the longest time, not many people have really paid attention to it as a competitive format. And so a lot of the assumptions that people are coming into Blitz with are assumptions that they built up during Monarch season, and
It's been a long time since.
it's been a long time since then. And also, it's been like their perception's been basically just like they've ignored it the entire time.
Yeah.
And they've relegated to the casual section in their mind. And so now that they have to devote brainpower to actually thinking about it, it's a bit of a whiplash.
True. I think a lot of people are thinking like, yeah, this is just a casual format for fun. So people are like kind of surprised, like, oh, it's actually being Worlds. But if in the future we understand that Blitz is gonna be part of it, and they actually like try to balance more Blitz, like more actively banning or suspending cards, then maybe people will be like, okay, the power level isn't super high. It's not just dice rolls and whatnot.
Yeah. They've been pretty good at banning cards. I think in order to get to a point where a lot of players would be happy with Blitz, I think they would have to ban too many things.
Yeah.
But I think they can get it to a point where players are okay with it.
Yeah, I think they've given evidence that they're conscious about it. Like before Uprising, they were like Crown of Seeds, See You Later, and then like a couple of the kind of wizard combo cards because they were like these are
snapback.
So like they're very much paying attention to the health of Blitz, just like they are with CC. I think a lot of people, ourselves included, feel like, wow, I just got Wombo Combat out the gate in Blitz and it feels bad, but I think overall the health of the game is pretty good, as evidenced by all the different heroes that are being played. That it's the most played game allegedly.
That one I don't really care about.
But to be fair, I think a lot of people do start with Blitz. Like I started with Blitz,
Yeah.
and right,
Everybody starts with
yeah,
Blitz.
because it's just like you just get 40 card deck and some equipment,
No sideboard.
and then no sideboarding because I don't know the heroes matchups or whatnot. I'm just starting off. I'm just gonna play this one deck to every hero, and so it's easy that way.
Yeah. So here's a question: if the 11 card equipment suite was expanded to 11 card sideboard, would that be more interesting?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh.
I think it would take the intro friendly part of Blitz away from it, because I think sideboarding is still, for me especially, like still one of the hardest things to do in Flesh and Blood. Because like the first RTN when I was playing Fi, I was texting Alan between rounds like, Alan, I don't know how to sideboard. Help me." And it's like Fi, it's super straightforward. There's like 5 cards in sideboard, and I still was like, whoa.
I like how you did the qualifier between rounds, just in case I was like, should be doing that mid
I was like, last round I played against this and I did bad. What do I bring in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that is a lot harder, especially for newer players, even seasoned bad players. Like me.
You might take away from like the point of Blitz, which would be like a simple, fast game. So I'm not sure about that.
I think I'd like it more, but I think it would be bad for the.
It won't really be
purpose of
Blitz. It'll be
Blitz.
like CC Mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if there was one downside to having Blitz at Worlds, and like an overall downside, is that I think it's bad if the more competitive the format becomes, if that makes sense. I like the fact that people can just go to skirmish and it's like people aren't try-harding, you just go up, you show up with a deck and you have fun, even though it's like, somewhat competitive still. But like, the more large events they bring into it and the more people try hard at Blitz, then it becomes like, then that's when it becomes like a degenerate format, when everyone's playing like the tier 0.
It's just like,
Bingo,
how do I
bango,
set up
bongo.
my 20 damage turn kill through their armor, kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
Like, what if someone shows up at Worlds and just dominates the field with this random KO Blitz deck, and then next skirmish, well, they'll ban something, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, if they always if they win the dice roll, they always win because at turn 0, they just like do like 20 damage. They can't
Just
do
like,
anything.
what's it, calling crit count? Or was it Utrecht?
Yeah.
Calling Utrecht where it does like.
Yeah, it was like all the Vizorize, right? And Yuanji won and like his turn 2, and the opponent only had 1 turn.
Yeah. And the opponent's like, well, that's it.
Living
Can't do
Legend
much.
is so fast in Blitz.
Yeah,
It's
so
25 fast.
Yeah, I think that being able to happen like infrequently, where it's like, wow, this person just like obliterated them really quickly, is good. I think when it's like too consistent, like Viscerai was.
Yeah.
Because like one of the worst games and most fun games I had was playing against Joseph when I was first testing Icelander for the last skirmish season, and he like was playing KO and he barraging beat down, pulping, rolls a 6. I'm like, gloves, re-roll it, rolls a 6 again. It's like 18 dominate on turn 1. I was like, okay, I'll start my game at 3 health. That's cool. But like that's cool. Like that's a cool thing that can happen, and it just, as long as it's not like every
Consistent.
single game, every single turn, right? I think it's fine.
But at the same time, also like Commoner now that they
Commoner's
introduced that,
so fun.
it's like you reduce the power level spikes on all the cards, but you still have like all the nuances of how you should block with your equipment that you have that are very fragile now. You don't have legendaries that have battle warrants. Most of them are like a blade break or just one block or something. You have to be very calculated how you preserve your life. You don't get fatigued, and most of the cards do, I don't know, like each turn you can probably do like 6 damage or something.
Mhm.
I think that's more fun. Also for as a new player format, I think that's much better. So I hope that they kind of push that format more in the future too.
I would like to see more bans in Commoner. I think we've reached a point where a lot of players have figured out the best decks, and they're very similar to the best Blitz decks.
Yeah.
So I feel like once if honestly if they share the same ban list with Blitz, I think that's fine. No
Yeah.
stubbies, no hard cross trap, no like ball lightning, no
Yeah.
cross.
They already banned ball lightning.
They already banned ball
What
lightning.
did they ban? They banned ball lightning,
Belittle.
seeds,
Belittle.
seeds.
Belittle.
Seeds in there still?
Oh really?
Yeah, seeds
That's
there.
little. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, seeds is
did
still
they?
I think so.
Okay.
It's too consistent for Commoner.
Yeah, I feel like the more you push heroes in Commoner to rely on generics, the more interesting the format becomes.
Mhm.
Mostly because the generics at Common are mostly just like whatever. So
Ravenous Ravel's so good.
yeah. I want to see push the point. That's a common, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
push
a
the
common.
point.
That's pretty good.
That's a really good comment.
Yeah,
That's the one they used to play in Ira.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Plus 2 damage.
Yes.
If-
One for
The
6.
last thing hit.
One
Yeah,
for 6.
Yana's playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's 1 for 7 with Ira's ability.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow.
So,
Break
Kodachi.
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 That's the point.
Back breaking.
All right, what do we got
All right.
next?
One of my absolute favorites. So this is by the same distillery as this guy. This is High West. But this is
Yeah, okay.
something called Midwinter Night's Dram. This is another rye, but it's finished in port wine barrels.
What's a dram?
It's a
dream without
pour,
the E.
pour of whiskey. That's what a dram
The
is.
artist that made broccoli a couple years back. Thank you, sir.
So what should we be looking for in this one?
This one's like fruitcake, liquid powdered sugar.
Okay.
It's so good.
You know, every time someone says sweet related to hard alcohol, they're lying.
No, this just means they're an alcoholic.
Your taste buds didn't work.
Yeah. It's all been burned off, so they just
Yeah, I don't taist alcohol anymore. I taste the
No.
good stuff.
Oh, it's just a
What is
little
this? What is
baby.
this?
He likes you.
Give me a little
He likes me more.
That's what I'm excited for. Okay.
All right.
What?
Just a little bit.
Have you
of
even tasted
Shane,
it
you're
yet?
I feel
No,
left
it's
out
because
now.
before this he mentioned
I'm
You
just
said it was
more
your
expensive.
favorite.
Yeah.
Also
Oh.
more expensive, right? So
Yeah, this one is a little pricier
yeah, so that's what we're gonna
and harder to find. This is like a seasonal release once
Oh.
a year.
once a year.
Once a year.
Midwinter.
Don't chug
It's
it.
a
you
limited
should.
edition.
Yeah.
This is why Ishin wants to do these, so he can taste
Taste good whiskeys.
It's like what?
Taste of the
it'd be
high
like
life.
what, $50 at a normal like bar or something?
No. This is maybe like 20. This would be like 22.
For the whole bottle?
No,
No,
like
sir.
per pour
Oh,
at
Yeah.
a bar.
So like this entire thing would be like
This one would probably be 20 also. These
What?
ones will be cheap.
so $100 then. $80. Like $80 a look.
France is spoiling us.
So
That's the-
prices I paid for these bottles,
Oh.
60, 90, 50 or 40, 80, 80.
Oh,
that's like as children.
No, it's not
Who
bad.
remembers them all?
It's just
I
you have
know.
to
Wow.
find them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
that's
hunting
the
them
issue.
down part, right? Yeah.
Cheers.
All right,
It's not an odd
cheers.
number.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's another reason I should play Briar. They play exude confidence.
I really wanted to play that in Dory so much. I'm
I
like,
played it in
yes.
Bravo at
Oh,
one point.
man.
Remember that?
Yeah.
This person's getting wrecked.
It's Prism, dude. Prism
I'm
versus Briar.
loving it.
Prism gets
From
destroyed.
40 to 23.
That's typical Prism stuff, right?
But she'll come back. You'll
Cla-
see.
classic.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's very smooth.
Mm-hmm. This one I sipped, so.
This one's
Except
really
for
I
tasty.
very much enjoy the scent. This one.
What's
A nice waft of this.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did last time, right? You did.
This is the one that actually
Because you
warms
can't smell
me.
directly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Caustic,
has actually
right?
less flavor.
Really?
Less
Maybe your palate's just getting
Oh,
hit.
yeah, it makes it
Alcohol,
burned
alcohol.
up.
Yeah.
You're becoming alcoholic too.
That's
You need
lactate.
something stronger.
No, it also you might be getting burnt out from the.
Yeah, I think the
too,
Maker's
right?
Mark was actually something not great to start on.
It's too
Really?
strong.
Yeah, Frank.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
I
He's
wanted
the
to start
expert,
off on this
so-
because it's like classic bourbon. Everything else is like has a different flavor profile that might affect the next.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to start with this.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, this is like much smoother compared to like.
Yeah. This is the strongest out of all of them.
Oh.
That's why I didn't want.
Bring it up.
I wanted this to be the last because
It's gonna have
this is the
little-
stronger tasting one.
A little water in between, clear it out.
You're right.
All right. So, final question. You guys got any tips to win any RTNs or
Let's
ProQuests?
start with Oliver.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the first
Yeah.
RTN winner
In our area, yeah.
in our
Yeah.
area.
First RTN winner on Prism too.
The
I know.
progenitor.
Number one.
Go and have fun.
Go and have fun.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree
Yeah.
with this. Don't be results oriented.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a game.
I like how you took his like super basic statement and made it seem profound.
I fully expected Oliver to just say, I don't know, I just play.
I play shiny cards.
Yeah, make sure your deck's shiny.
But yeah, like, don't go into an event with the expectation to win, because you're just gonna disappoint yourself.
Yeah.
These events are made to
You're not
have
gonna win.
These events are made to have
You're not
losers,
built like
right?
this.
There's only one winner,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
don't disappoint yourself by putting that expectation on yourself. Have fun, and then if you win, great, fantastic.
Me.
Yes.
Just like be a judge, get a Titanus.
I mean, that's my value proposition, right? I'm too bad to get consistent results, so I get consistent. I
the
get,
draft today.
I get consistent payment as judge, right? So, I guess for the biggest thing I see for newer players when I have them like go to their first RTN, I think of a couple guys here locally, is that they tend to beat themselves up over their losses, and they tend to like hyper focus on their mistakes. And to be honest, Fab is a interesting game where it's really easy to see the mistakes made during gameplay. So it's easy to focus on them, but also everybody's gonna make mistakes. Like I think even the best players when you win, you can never be like, oh, I played that without mistakes. Unless your deck was like super obvious, super linear, and they didn't do anything,
I'm just kidding.
right?
Straightforward, baby.
So, you can learn from your mistakes, but don't like be like, oh man, I should have done that, or oh man, I should have done this.
I think my straightforward point, similar to Oliver's, is to not stress. I think I went into this RTN season, this is like the most seriously I've taken any Fab so far, and I was like, I gotta get this top 4. I gotta go to nationals. I gotta do it. And I went to like every RTN within like 100 miles, right? And I kept being like, wow, not to beat this time. Oh, scrubbed out. Oh, lost my first 2 rounds. I can't make it. And by the last one, I was like, maybe it's XP. Let me just chill out, take it easy. And I think getting out of my own head helped me play better.
Yeah.
Especially.
Use Alan's deck too.
Hey,
He iterated on it.
Yeah.
But I think like the week before, there was the RTN where everybody was at Battle Hard in LA, and I was like, I'm gonna get this cheeky win while the good players are gone, and made top 8. And then I was like, all right, there's 7 other people, just not Shin, please. And then my quarterfinals is against Shin, and I was like, oh no. So for those at home, I had previously never beaten Shin a single time, ever. Casually, TTS, friendly game, never. And it's like my boogeyman, and every time I sit down against Shin, I'm like shaking. I was like, the steel blade shut is coming. Oh god. And so like that was in Swiss, like round 4 against Shin, and I was like, I'm gonna get blown out, and I lost, and it was like, oh, that's fine. And then I think in the finals, I was like, I didn't think I was gonna make top 8. I definitely didn't think I was gonna make top 4 because I played against Caleb Van Patten on Viscerai, who's a super good player. Shout out Majin Bey, Elor. Check him on Twitch.com.
Yeah. He doesn't need a shout out. He's already big enough.
Yeah.
But and so I think once like I kind of got past being all worried and concerned and whatever, and just was like, you know, I'm playing Flesh and Blood for fun, and I'm just here to like game. Like Oliver says, he just likes playing cards.
Yeah.
I had like a better time, and then it like worked out. So that's my tip.
You took it down. You beat Shin.
Yeah, man, you got
First
it.
win. First win against
first
Shin
CC
in the
ever
finals.
you
man.
won.
Yeah.
Very memorable.
Against me, yeah. It was a very good game for sure. Like I had tempo most game until the very last turn, or the second to the last turn where you Art of Ward or something too.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is big. I couldn't stop all the damage. I think I had like 4 counters on Dom Blade, but I had to block off my
6
full
counters.
hands.
Yeah.
Six counters.
Yeah.
6
You
counters.
double listening, and I just like didn't block the entire
Yeah,
game.
I was like, man, 6 counters, but I stripped my whole hand, so I didn't do anything next turn. So that's when I know I lost. But
It's
yeah,
tough one.
I think Fab, especially it's like a whole day event. Making sure you don't beat yourself up, like what everyone's saying. Like getting tilted is a big thing, because you become your worst enemy at that point, and then you just start underperforming from what you could probably do. So every time I lose like a match before, I don't really like think about it on the next match. Like, oh, I should have done this because now I'm not focusing on the current match I'm not doing. So what people say in sports games, like just focus on the game that you're going to be playing at, not like the one after that or the one before, just the one you're at. Just try to focus on that and have a good time, and try to do what you can. I guess don't stress too much about it. Also, if you do end up losing or winning, talk with the opponent, like get their take, because that gives another perspective on like what you could have done or what they did. Get feedback to each other. Make your both players better at the game. I think that's also another thing too.
Also helps build the community too.
Yeah. That's my take.
Just hit.
I mean, I think everyone has felt like there comes a, or at least when I started first playing Flesh and Blood, I just wanted to play and like have a good time, like this man over here, and I did pretty well. I top 4 the RTN RTN last year, and I was just playing Brawl, having a good time, and then it was at the point where I decided that I wanted to put more effort in. I wanted to win an event where I started performing even worse, and you get in your own head.
Yeah.
And then after that, I watched True Sight with OG.
Yeah.
Mental power.
Yeah.
What did they say? Just like
Yeah.
Win together, slay together, slay
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Lose together, win together, slay together, slay together, slay together. Huh? I would just do it, right?
And then from there, I don't know. There's just a lot of little things like, well, I can't say getting good sleep because I never get good sleep before events.
Yeah.
But just like having a good time, focusing on the game at hand, not thinking too far ahead, not like, just, I don't know.
Just hit.
Just hit.
Just hit.
So one thing I actually want to add that I thought of, this is actually not coming from me. This is coming from Tao Tao. Shout out Tao Tao, our resident Katsu player. On the way back from the Battle Hardened, he had pretty good results for that weekend. He got top 4 and then top 2.
Yeah, I think so.
At the
RTN, right?
I did RTN. And he lost the first few rounds of each event, and his thoughts were, I'll kind of paraphrase on this, was that in a Magic event, when you lose the first 2 rounds, you have to basically draw well and do well in the next X times 3 games, because you're playing multiple games per event. And if you're not confident in your deck, then you might as well just
It's
go
almost
on.
impossible, right?
Yeah. Whereas with Flesh and Blood, because you have more control over your wins and losses and how you play, and if you're confident on your deck, which is a big thing, that you can just tell yourself, okay, I just need to win the next few games, and that's it. That's basically that was his strategy, and I feel like that's an interesting way to approach it, where it's like, figure out what you need to do to get to where you want to be, and just don't even bother thinking about the past. Just think, this is what I need to do. Can I do it? And if you're confident, you can say yes.
I think that all can also apply to like not thinking about the future too much either.
Yeah.
Like you see like, oh, this is a 27 player event and there's 5 rounds and my record, what are my breakers? Like I think it's almost impossible not to think about that stuff. Like I still think about that stuff during events, but like I find that just like focusing on each round and just playing that game as best you can is the most important thing.
Yep.
And then like, seeing if you can like bubble in or something is like
Yeah.
all fluff that just gets.
If you make it, you make it.
gets
You
in your
don't,
way.
you don't.
And as a judge, obviously, I don't want people to think about breakers too much, because then they get into the territory of maybe we should split this or something like that.
Yeah.
It's always a big mess when that happens.
True. It's like, oh, you probably can't make it. Like, can you let me win here or
Make
something?
it DQ.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Definitely do not do that.
Yeah.
It's also just more fun for people watching like me, where I can watch people play games instead of going, oh, cool, let's split.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
our last one.
Last one.
Yum.
Oh, you haven't even finished your previous one.
Silver Allen.
59.
I was thinking about secret tips.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm like, I feel pretty sober, but like my chest does not feel.
Feeling the heat, man.
Yes, I am.
All right.
This one's new.
This is one of my favorites. Brand new this year, I believe. And I've tried like
Brand
their.
new? Like this has never been bottled before.
Never before seen.
No, this is a new release this year.
Oh, okay.
Like
New vintage.
yeah. I've tried the higher end versions because they have like a 15-year-old version, and I think a 25 or 20-year-old version. I forget.
Thank you.
But this is finished in rum, brandy, and apricot.
Ooh, apricot.
Can you
Sorry, no, rum,
Definitely not.
Madeira, Madeira, and apricot brandy.
Oh,
barrels. So 3 different barrels.
This one smells a little lighter than the previous ones.
This is not like the Dram. So I did bring this to Jersey and as a sample, and we did drink this on the first day. I don't know if Oliver had any, but I know Tyler from Vacaville did.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But he was really high, so I don't even know if he had this. So.
Ready?
All right. Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Last
Oliver,
one.
are you sipping away?
No, I was smelling it.
You always smell it to prepare your palate.
This smells pretty spicy.
It is a bit spicy, but
Do we have a final question?
I
Is
don't.
it freeform?
All
Maybe.
right, free form question. What do you guys want to
Chat.
see from LSS or Flesh and Blood in 2023?
A new hero type. That's
Well,
number
we're
one.
seeing
Hero
great
type?
history.
I know.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Any specific?
Actually, you know what? I would actually love to see them flesh out merchant. That is what I would like. After like 2 years, I would like to see actual merchant cards and like merchant being a really
Yeah, from the
not just like a
Rudy-
generic.
the Rudy Patreon.
All code
No.
foils.
But-
Random drop
Yeah.
merchant cards.
But I think if they're gonna like fill out PVE, like filling out merchant and maybe gearing it towards PVE would be like really cool.
Silver palm stonks.
Yeah.
I think
wanna
PvE will be
see-
cool.
Like an alternate win condition, other than killing your opponent's hero.
Like it's rough, like written on a card text.
Killing your opponent in one turn.
Poison
Another
counters.
OTK.
Killing your opponent with arcane damage.
Well, that's
Just like something like
milling.
either like someone's weapon or someone's hero.
But like
that-
there's a card text that says
yeah,
you
that
win the
says
game.
you win
when
the game,
fulfill a certain
or
condition.
your opponent loses the game when you have these conditions.
Feels very Yu-Gi-Oh.
Feels dangerous.
No, I think
like
it's
it.
like a fun,
Exodia.
a fun kind of thing, or Exodia. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
cool too.
Get this
Bourguignon
one
Toad.
hand.
I draw one card.
I love.
How balanced it would be if Exodia was a thing in Flesh and Blood. If you like had to arsenal the head.
You mean Starvo?
But and draw into all 4 other body parts, and then you
Yeah,
won the game.
Yeah.
Like you needed to
You
pitch
just
that.
show up.
Sure.
Pitch that.
No, I agree.
Bourguignon Dome. Draw 2 cards.
I think that'd be pretty fun. Like, not obviously not super good, but
Yeah, I don't want it to be like super powerful.
Like
but,
Starvo.
you know, fun, niche. Yeah.
I think that's fine as long as there's a way for the opponent
To
to interact with it in a way
Yeah.
that's normal to them. Like, I want to like bring up Spectra because it's similar to that, where your way of interacting with Prism is somewhat similar to your normal game plan, but obviously you need cyber cards specifically for Prism, which is more action points, right? That's where a lot of people were like, well, I don't like Prism because she needs specific cyber cards, and people that don't know how to play against her will just get wrecked.
Yeah, and you have to dedicate so much sideboard just for that if you wanted to have a good chance.
Yeah.
when you lead the charges.
So
right?
if you were to make an auction win condition, it have to be something that is telegraphed and that is interactable with normal damage.
Have you ever played Hearthstone? Paladin Hearthstone.
I don't.
Paladin?
There was a Death Knight card where it created horsemen.
yes.
The 4 horsemen, and
Oh.
you can only activate once a turn, right? And there are certain cards that allowed you to activate it more than one time a turn.
No.
But the combo is once you get all 4 horsemen on the field with this once per turn activated ability, you win the game
Yeah.
automatically. So I was thinking something like that, where
Yeah.
you had like multiple allies. You had to get these number of allies out onto the field, and then you win.
Alan is taking off right now, so.
just me.
Oh, okay.
That was
Bye.
I think that'd be cool. I think
I think
there
it'd be
was
pretty sweet.
But is there a way to like stop that from
Yeah,
happening?
it's like
You
it's
could
like
destroy
a
the
creature.
allies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or you can just destroy it.
Yeah, but there are some people that played it in a way that you could combo in one turn, but you had to still set up for it.
There was this card in Magic, I want to say like Magic 20 M14 M15 called Door to Nothingness,
Yeah, that's fine.
which is just this kind of meme card that's like it costs 5 to play and it's like activate 10 mana, like a person loses the game. And you-
10 mana of all colors.
yeah, of all
too.
colors, right?
Yeah.
And it's this like hard to do thing where it comes in, it has to be a turn leader, and I was playing standard and I built a deck to do that. I was like, I'm gonna have fun. And they're always like, what are you doing? You're playing all these cards, and then they play Door to Nothingness, and I'm like, oh no. But like there's a turn to react to it, you can remove it, like there's things like that, and it's this like pretty low win rate deck, but it's super satisfying when you get it off.
Does the opponent feel bad though if that happens?
No, because like there's multiple points for interaction, and I think
okay. So it's like, oh, it's my fault that I let that happen. So,
yeah,
okay.
and it's a slow, and it's kind of a
It's
I got
a-
everything.
it's very
coming.
slow.
There's a similar one with that I played, which is Maze's End.
I was
Yes,
about to bring that up.
And
yeah.
that one actually, I think it's a terrible win condition
Yeah.
because normal decks do not run land destruction, which is how it wins by getting 11 lands. And even though you could, the deck had a terrible win rate because all it did was just prevent damage, and like hopefully win after a certain number of times. Third lane, the opponent couldn't do anything. It was just swing out, hope you don't have the card that prevents all combat damage.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And if you do, you win. If you don't, I guess I lose.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
somewhere in between those two. I
Yeah.
think. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
And it would have to be in a kind of setup where maybe not. It's not like your only win con or something, but it's to be able to get it to fire consistently, you have to like sacrifice. Like I'm not going to be killing you with regular damage this game or something.
Yeah.
It could be interesting.
Could be. Just
Shin's
thinking
like,
like,
oh no.
no, just wondering like,
How does
because this is still like Dom Blade Rack. How storing I knew this. Just like, because this is sort of like a fighting game kind of thing where the heroes fighting another hero. Only thing I could think of that's sort of like maybe you don't kill the person with HP, you could kill them another way. It's like if you have a ninja with like acupuncture, like you just do so much things onto them that eventually you like hit all their
Just
points
explode.
and then they just like can't move
Yeah.
anymore. Even though they have full health,
A
they can't
better
do
fight
anything.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
What if there was a hero that milled your opponent's deck?
See, that's also that's
Mill,
a,
their
yeah,
goal was
yeah,
to make
Mill.
a
I
deck.
forget that. Yeah, that's an alternate win condition.
that's a concern because it's like it has the issue with mill, which is it's either feast or famine,
Mhm.
and you kind of lose it either way. And the other thing is like I wonder because we only have one pseudo mill card right now, which is righteous cleansing.
Ah, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, I think that's the only one that actually
10
mills stuff. And it's mostly a disruption thing where you just take out their best card for the next draw. So I wonder how that would work in Flesh and Blood. But from my initial gut check, it's like it's either going to be not very fun or it's going to be a side mission to normal. Because obviously, if the mill is dependent on you on an opponent being able to interact with it, it would probably be like a non-hit trigger.
Yes.
And at that point, it's more like, well, I've already hit them 40 times and milled 40 cards, but they should be dead anyway. So
Hero abilities, instead of dealing damage, you mill cards instead.
okay.
But it balanced, of course, not just like
Yeah, of
one to
course,
one, not just one
balanced.
to one.
Yeah.
But balance.
6
Yeah, I
cards.
trust
Oh
the
god.
LSS team to figure it out.
Yeah, I do like the idea of something like that.
Yeah.
Death Knight. You could be like a general class where they have to assemble different pieces of an
You
army
mean
and then
merchant.
and then they route you,
A
right?
new illusion.
You mean merchant? Merchant?
Mention.
What's the merchant gonna do? Bankrupt you?
No, no. You buy pieces.
You buy
Buy
their
the
equipment
cards,
from
yeah.
them?
You collect all 7 Dragon Balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You barter.
Negotiate.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe getting back to the real point of this question about what we want to see in the next year.
Honest, I do want to see an alternate win condition.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. My claim to fame was playing Mill against Omnath, so.
Okay. All right.
Whoa,
Fans.
I did. I won.
That's right. What about you, Shin? What would you like to see?
Well, I already said mine in the very beginning question, which was like the win rates of your heroes and stuff. I think I would love to see that just for stats perspective.
Some building on the site out.
Yeah, I would
That'd be
love
really
to see
cool.
that.
Like you have the option when you go into Gen, be like, I'm playing Dorinthea.
Yeah.
Oh, but then it's based.
No,
it's on your opponents also.
No, just
if
per.
Well, also like you submit your deck list, right, for those like bigger events too. I
Oh,
guess you
yeah.
could do it for. I mean, if you did it for Armory too, if you could select what hero you're playing, so you could just see your stats.
Yes.
You can do it
Even
just
Dota too, because I like to see like how many wins I have and losses I have in the
That's
first
actually
weekend, so.
that would actually be pretty cool.
They actually have that in Gem right now, where the TO actually has to assign each hero to each person, and it's
Oh,
kind of
really?
tedious. It's kind of tedious.
That's
That's
tedious.
why it doesn't
Okay.
really.
It's theoretically possible.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, they haven't been. They don't have the. They don't have the stats on hand.
So please,
I also,
process.
I also think they feel like they
Okay.
don't want stats. It's the same reason they don't want an online client. You know, they want people to like know by feel.
So I will say though that I'm technically not supposed to talk about this because they did sign a waiver.
Okay.
Oh,
But
Don't
But-
say it.
Too many.
Cutting this out. No matter what you say, I'm
Redacted.
but
Bleep.
Alice
Censor.
says
Let's see if this makes
And-
sense.
I feel like that's tame enough that
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it
yeah.
won't like run
You
afoul.
did you ask for it
Dude,
before?
imagine all your privileges are gone.
Yeah.
I can't talk to you anymore.
Content creator privilege. Yeah. Yeah, I think also, guess, do you think they'll start having the Living Legend format out by then in 2023?
No, not enough heroes.
I would think like 2 or 3 more years.
No?
Honestly, I would prefer a Living Legend format with just every hero legal.
That's what I want too. So I could play Dory in that format too.
Yeah.
And just get smacked around.
Dude, I could
That's
be
wrong.
Starvo. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's Shin, bro.
Yeah,
Ask
Shin.
Chris Ray about it. All right, watch out. Battle hardened only loss.
Yeah.
Shin's too good, man.
We'll still see people playing Azalea and Living Legend.
You know, because they want to, right?
Yeah.
If they did do Living Legend format, would they unban all cards or have the same ban as CC?
That's
I think they'll just unban all cards and see how that goes.
I am quite
Just
curious
super
to see what
OP,
Seeds Chain will
OP.
look like
Yeah.
now that everyone is like knows like all the good stuff. Like,
Yeah.
No, but
oh, with creepers
the
now.
real drone of brutality.
But also because we have
Bolton
plenty of
gets
roll.
Plunder Run
also we
back.
have plenty of ways to
Plunder Run
prevent
too.
stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of. There's some really strong cards.
There are some really
Plunder
strong
Run
cards.
Seeds Chain versus
Chain.
Starvo.
Dust
We also have
Blade?
Against
we also have
Viserai
decent
with
ways to disrupt them,
Skeleton
so, like,
Duskblade.
I think it's mostly fine.
Skeleton Duskblade.
But the thing is, if you have so much OP things though, you have like other heroes start like oh, this deck now beats that super
Yeah.
OP deck, and then now that deck becomes super meta. But then now like oh, that deck is actually fragile, so this card now.
It's just
that
a
becomes
format
meta.
of really high powered heroes.
Yes.
Right?
And that's what basically like vintage Magic is, right? So you just
It's just like, oh, you have Black Lotus and some other artifact and Tinker? Okay.
yeah, I don't want to live in Legend format with just the band heroes. I want Living Legend format with everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think like it's like open field. Like I think that'll be fun. So maybe in next year, probably not. Year after that, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll take the place of Blitz.
Mm.
No.
Living Legend format in Worlds? Actually, that'd be pretty sweet.
Right.
Maybe.
I don't know. Actually, that might be too strong.
Mr. Luke.
What I would like to see.
Yeah, 2023.
Then the
Or,
Guardian.
or the next
I
year.
thought of this question. I have no idea.
Bravo, three armed star of the show.
Legendary boots.
Oh yes, legendary.
Legendary
Please.
boots.
Iron Rod coiling slippers. Come on,
Mage Masters.
Mage Masters. Oh, Mage Master.
Time skippers, dude. It's
Yeah.
great.
I don't
Oh,
think
God.
I don't think their goal is to fill out a class only legendary suite.
I mean, Runeblade. Hello.
But they don't, right? They had
I mean, Skeleton's pretty close to a legendary if you
right,
ask
but
me.
it's also banned. Right?
Okay. Now it's
They also have a legendary hat. They have to rely on the generic legendary.
okay. There's no generic legendary boots at least.
Yeah.
Well, he's just saying it like lines up that they have two
Like, imagine-
legendaries in
imagine
the slots
this,
that the two
imagine
generics
this.
aren't in, right?
Legendary boots.
Mhm.
AB1.
Okay.
Blade Break 1.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really boring for
It's
legendary.
just
It's
hard.
boring,
it's just,
but it's
really
good.
boring for
it's
legendary.
just Heart of Ice, but boots.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, but there is no
But
boots.
generic.
for Ice.
I don't think
Just
it
give
would,
me
We'll
AB
workshop it.
with one more life.
I don't think it would be broken, but I think the only thing it would do is like free up one.
I mean, it would
slot.
just power creep AB. No ring boots, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
It would literally just be like, oh, you have one extra sideboard slot now.
Oliver.
I'm thinking. Pass.
No Runeblade?
Obviously that, but that'd be too easy.
we
man.
don't
No
want to see a
Runeblade
Shadow
for
Runeblade till 2024.
It's
that. I don't want to see
coming.
another Runeblade until like 2025.
It's in 3 years.
Yeah.
Dude, not soon.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Just tell you about
is that
Dynasty,
too, is that
man.
too soon? I don't want to see another Runeblade ever.
Shadow Necromancer.
Dude, the Dynasty's coming soon with that guy, man. He has a sword.
Draconic Runeblade.
Yeah,
Stop.
he's a wizard with a sword, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Arcane damage.
It's just runes.
It's
Yeah.
the Wizard
Blade.
Warrior or Runeblade.
Yeah.
Ancient.
Well, I have a bunch of things on my wish list. I mentioned one of them in the previous podcast we recorded with AAP, which was I want to see pre-constructed decks that are completely new cards, introduce a new class, and are injected into the meta during an off-season between sets. So, for example, I used this as in AAP, which was imagine halfway through Monarch, we had a holy Runeblade, a wholly new illusionist deck with a generic illusionist hero that was just added to the format. So now the Prism had more options for deck building, and we had a slight shakeup in the meta, and now illusionist doesn't have to play catch up with class cards to be on parity with other cards.
Yeah.
So if they do introduce new classes, I hope that they'll go a similar route. And it's also obviously just a way to inject heroes into class constructed that doesn't have to go through a new set or anything. So
It could take up where like classic battles left off, but it's hard because classic battles is so much like here's the heroes you know and love fighting each other, and this is like here's some new people. Get to it, have fun.
Would
right?
it just be like Blitz only, or would it be like actual CC adult?
CC,
Gotta be
heroes?
CC,
Gotta be
CC. It'll be a full CC deck, and then on the opposite side there's going to be a Blitz version of it. So basically it'd just be a pre-constructed CC deck that people can just pick up and play and go into a CC event.
Yeah.
That also introduces a new hero, adds new class cards, and is a relatively cheap pickup for a lot of new players. I think that's a lot of problems. The other thing I want to see is, I mean, I always want to see like more products, but at the same time, I realize that more products is like bad because I don't want to I want to be like Magic. But I think the main issue is that I'm not a big fan of the smaller expansions, the
supplementals.
the supplemental expansions.
Everfest Crew.
I would be okay with supplementals.
I feel like
if-
they're so meta breaking. The supplemental
I
sets.
enjoyed them. I
Wait,
just
that's-
wish they didn't take the place of a draft.
I want more draft sets, and the other thing I want is that I want suites of cards for new heroes to be introduced alongside them. The biggest issue with Valda is that she has a couple of cards in Everfest, but she doesn't have a lot of cards that feel uniquely hers, and she doesn't feel as complete of a hero as Bravo does. And that's obviously by design because it's like, oh, you don't want to spend too much time on her, but it's like it feels bad to have these heroes introduced in Blitz, but no room for expansion outward. And I wonder how they're going to do Dynasty, because one of the biggest concerns I have with introducing new heroes in supplemental sets is that they don't get any support. Icelander was one example where she was super reliant on the really bad ice cards and pummel to do well in the previous like skirmish
Fire
season.
breathing. Ooh.
Yeah, fire breathing, right? And like it's a bit of a deck building challenge, but at the same time, it feels bad where it's like, I want this hero to be good, but I need Ice Wizard cards.
Okay, I got mine.
Oh,
Okay.
baby.
I need LSS to respond to me faster.
Give this man his
Would you like
PTI.
to explain the story for
Yeah.
the viewers at home?
I need my PTI.
Still,
Yeah.
a second of calling,
Still
you don't
has
have your
not gotten
PTI.
his PTI.
Yeah. And then I guess this is a very fringe complaint, but I wish they would have more assets and more lore available. Lore for the heroes that are out. Like we had Dromai and Phi out for like a month before they actually released the lore. I want to learn about these heroes beforehand, see if I can actually like relate to them better, and then for like from a developer standpoint, I would like them to have the cards more readily available, because they had like an Excel spreadsheet of all the cards that are out when they released Everfest, but they never updated it for Uprising, and I can ask them, but they won't respond to me. So.
What did you want to use those cards for, by the way, to the viewers at home?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like
A mobile app, maybe?
Yeah.
A deck building mobile app that's never been released.
Yeah, never been shared with anyone?
Yeah.
Always
Even us?
screenshots it.
Yeah.
Screenshots.
Whenever
it?
I ask for a deck list, he sends me this long screenshot. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where's the Fab DP?
No Fab DB.
Maybe in this house.
His own deck list.
Proprietary deck list.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll help other developers too, because they can just like you just take all that data using scrape an app, make an app that scrapes all the data and then write something or like, compile it.
Piggybacking off of your request for more lore, more flavor text. Why is
Please.
Ronin Renegade? Why is like Rebellious
Yeah.
Rush? That's what I want. None of them have any flavor text, and
Yeah.
like
Just a couple words, like a sentence. Like,
Even
it'd
most
be
of the
some-
classic battles, one of them, like the guy didn't have anything in the text.
That
Titanium
critical
Bubble?
strike flavor text though.
Critical Strike flavor
So-
text is good. I want that for
Yes.
everything. Just like
There's no mercy on the battlefield.
There's no mercy. Brothers Against Sisters. Yeah. I love Critical Strike. I love that card.
Brothers in Arms flavor text is also pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like they don't do it enough. And I feel like part of it is because they want to keep the cards relatively clean looking, but at the same time, it's like
So
You
empty
have-
and naked.
But they stopped that at Crucible with like boosts on dash,
Oh,
right?
that is
Yeah.
my real request, actually.
no
Oh,
reminder
Here
text.
we go, Miles.
No,
Please.
it's my-
Foil cards do no reminder text. It was so nice in first edition
Mhm.
for the first 3 sets. I need that back again. It's so crisp.
Maybe just-
I
maybe
know
just
what
the foil
Phantasm
one?
does. Just remove the text. It'll look so clean. And replace it with a little flavor text. Like,
True.
I don't know, for instead of Spears of Surreality, it's just like, ooh, swipe. And that's the flavor text with like asterisks. I'm fine with that. Whatever you want to put on the card.
They did it for a couple cards in Arcane Rising, right? They changed the flavor text for Thunderfight, which is really weird.
Yeah.
And they added a flavor text to a bunch of other cards.
Yeah. I think it was really cool. I don't know why it stopped, but
Yeah. More flavor, more creative stuff.
One more request. More
What's
dual
this?
area sets. Like we've been
Like Monarch?
Like Monarch. Like how that was Solana and the Monastery. I want to get through the different regions faster.
Right, they want to save space for all the other stuff, all the sets.
I feel like
It's
you'll
too-
probably get like metrics and pits in one set, right?
Yes.
I think-
because just how it's set up.
The issue is that they're really enjoying these like 3 hero draft sets.
I mean, like this one, we got a hero from Aria, right? It could have been like, here's a sneaky hero from like Mysteria instead, right?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
They
It's an
could've-
intro.
Right.
So what
They
Mysteria
have,
would
they have
be.
an ice wizard and have another wizard from Mysteria.
Yeah, I think Metrics Pits is gonna be next.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder how it's gonna be.
And I
Because
think Mechanologist will be last.
so the thing is like the lore of metrics. They have 3 different sub fields of study for metrics, which is alchemist, mechanologist, and like something else. I forgot.
Speaking of alchemist, Ichin.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna shill my custom stuff here.
I'll show for it. It was great. It was a great custom set.
Okay. But yeah, but they have like 3. They have 3 fields there, so I feel like it might be a triple hero set. But if they add that with pits, who knows?
France, what do you want out of
Yeah.
the next year of Fab?
Alternate win condition.
That's not what I said. Oh, yeah.
No, but I mean, okay. Card wise, background wise, anything else besides alternate win condition?
More arcane damage, please.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Love it.
I actually don't mind arcane damage. Now that we have Quell, and now that we have
Quell is very interesting. I like Quell.
Quell
a
is
lot.
actually really nice.
Quell's good.
Yes.
I really like split damage. I think it's very efficient. It's very powerful.
Oh no!
I feel like they should just make a Guardian version of a wizard. Like, 7 for 11 arcane or something.
I feel like
A huge
Oh
amount.
my god.
no, thank you.
I don't know about that one.
Ripping triple.
Everything has
That's
dominate.
practically dominate already.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, 32 life or something.
Yeah.
Just this giant guy with a little wand.
Or a small guy with a
I cast.
Big one. Oh, okay,
You
alright.
just cast fist.
Yeah.
I want more stuff like Vincerikai, where it's normal damage you can block out normally, and then it's additional damage that you can block out with other sources you don't have to block.
So split damage.
Yeah, but like
So like
more reasonable. So Rosetta Stone is front loaded arcane damage.
Yeah, that's fun.
Whereas
If you don't block the physical, then there's
Exactly.
side-loaded.
Additional damage.
Galaxy Black.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is why it's the best Runeblade weapon because when it's balanced.
It's actually fair.
And it has an alternate arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
I mean, it's already banned.
Extendably.
I know,
Yeah.
very sad.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
a good
right.
idea.
That's our chain. It's bad. I
Oh,
forgot
man.
about that.
They got played for like a month.
You didn't get played for a month. People played Negative Blade
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was played for limited.
It's a nice weapon. Okay, you guys want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want anything more to drink?
Okay. What did you guys like out of these 5?
I like the Winter's Night.
Midwinter's Night Tram?
Yes.
I do think the latter two were better.
I enjoyed it.
Oh.
I think
Mine was the Barrell Seagrass.
I think out of all of them, I enjoyed this the most, but I will go for another glass of this at some point. Not today though.
I think I go for this more than the other two.
Mhm.
And this, I would like more if it was last year's version. Or no, not
Oh,
last
okay.
year's version.
Oh.
There's like a
Fancy.
Got hipster over here.
2019. There's a 2019 version of this that was amazing.
What are you on?
The latter two.
Really?
It just felt easier to drink
Mhm.
than the first 3.
Well, you got accustomed to it because of the first.
Maybe that, yeah. Also true.
Yeah.
Honestly, they were all pretty close to me. But there were some differences. I just couldn't categorize.
Yeah.
or
You want to try
say what it was.
another glass just to make sure that.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah,
Try some from
yeah.
last
Yeah,
time.
once we're done recording for sure.
A full glass, please.
Yeah,
Of course, of course, of
I'm
course.
that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
holding you to it.
Yeah. Okay, all we're good?
You want to say anything? Who here's going to Lille? None of us.
Nope.
None of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna be
None of us qualified.
we're gonna be watching.
We'll cheer on Joseph
We'll be at
And
next.
Yuki.
and Yuki
And Yuki.
And Caleb.
and
Yeah.
Caleb. Yep. Wait,
Yeah,
Caleb's
yeah,
going.
Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb's
Yeah.
going.
Oh,
going.
okay, cool.
Big
Good,
dog.
good, good.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
And Ian. Come on.
Ian.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
he's
Are you
right.
international
Yeah.
friends?
Yeah.
Wait,
Come
yeah.
on.
Isn't Ian at
These guys don't know
Singapore?
whatever we were saying, but
Is Ian at Singapore?
no, Ian.
No.
No, Ian's at
He's in Netherlands, but he's playing in the.
Oh no, I thought he was going to Calling Singapore.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, darn, okay. I thought he would get all the Prism bling.
Any
And,
last
like,
shout
get
outs
some
you guys
for
want to do?
too.
Shoutouts.
I mean, shout out to all the local players. I mean, that's
Loopers rise up.
yeah, Loopers too.
Yeah, all the people you beat up.
No, like all the people like me, where it's like, oh, I sneak in for the one win, and then that's I fade into obscurity.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Shout out to everybody around. Got a great community.
Any shout outs you want to do, Shin?
No. I think I'm good.
Shout out to
Your doppelganger Shin. That also.
There's another Shin?
Yeah,
What's
there's another
your daughter
Shin.
going to
that-
be named?
Oh yeah, my daughter. Don't know. I don't know.
Dorinthea.
What will James give me something if I name a dog Dorinthea?
Gold full Dorinthea.
Oh yes,
Ooh.
go please then baby.
Or it would just be like, Jasmine, what do you think about Dory? Like the fish. let's do an I instead though, because it's more fun, right?
What about you, Alan? Want to shout out anybody?
Say numbers.
That's okay.
Oh man.
Subscribe to Alan's YouTube channel.
Yes.
One.
AlanLube.
Yeah.
Loopers.
Loopers.
Rise up.
Show
Rise up.
myself. I haven't posted in a while.
Yeah.
I've been on a Genshin spree.
Oh.
Fab break.
Yeah, I've also been on Fabric. That's why there hasn't been any uploads.
Better Call Saul.
No, you're hiding all your straps.
Better Call Saul.
He's
What's
just
straps?
all your
He's
straps.
been playing Path of Exile.
He's been playing Dota 2
Dota 2.
and
Dota
watching
2.
a lot of
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I've been binging Better Call Saul.
And I've been watching The Boys.
Yep.
Nice. I need to catch up on that too.
Ichin, anything you want to shout out?
Yeah. Shout out to the viewers.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your hard work, Yuchin.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. All my hard
Shout out
work
Yuchin.
Judge.
doing
getting
stuff.
Doing this.
Our level 2
Everything.
judge.
Yeah, level
Level 2
two.
judge.
Before you know it, he's
Yeah.
gonna move to New Zealand. Level 5 judge.
Oh man.
There's only four level 4. There's only 4 levels of judge.
Yet.
Yeah,
So
for
far.
now.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
now.
that could level 4 is literally just Joseph, right? I was like,
They will,
Josh.
they will
yeah, Josh.
tailor a Typanis cosplay for you, and you can walk around.
no. Maybe I can ask somebody for that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
A Typanis cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
See you guys next time.
You have to do this round of me stuff?
Oh,
no.
Yes,
Okay.
How to finish
Alright,
it?
Yeah.
Oliver, you have
Alright.
to lead it.
Alright,
Yeah.
it goes, this round's on me, and then we just clink glasses.
Yes, do
We're
it.
still drinking.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Alright.
Alright.
You're not supposed to
Did we all
clink
say it, or-
without
Yeah,
drinks
we all
in your
have to say it.
glass.
Cheers.
awkward.
Alright.
Cheers,
That's it.
everybody.
Cheers.
This
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 round's
round's
on
on
me.
me. Yeah.
Look at that.
Nothing to drink though.